Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Kensthetic with the Kensthetics, and I'm here with you guys today with a new video. So in today's video, I wanted to speak about how to find an Airbnb when you go on vacation, or if you're planning a staycation. Just in general, how do you know which Airbnb is credible, which Airbnb will give you a good experience, which Airbnb will look like the photos? I just wanted to talk about it just because I have seen on social media so many different experiences people have had with Airbnbs, both good, but more so bad when it comes to booking Airbnb, specifically outside of the country. So I wanted to give you guys some tips that I use and some things that I did to become comfortable with using Airbnb, specifically when it comes to international travel. But these tips can also be used for domestic Airbnbs as well. So that's what we're going to be speaking about in today's video. If y'all want to hear more about it, then make sure you guys keep on watching. Before we get started, make sure you guys subscribe to my channel, hit that red subscribe button down below. We're on the road to 8,000 subscribers, and I want you, yes, you, to join. So make sure you guys subscribe. If you enjoyed this video, if you guys find these tips helpful, make sure you go ahead and give this video a big thumbs up and drop a comment down below with your thoughts, comments, questions, or anything that's on your mind after watching this video. And without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. To start off this video, I did want to speak about my experience of how I became comfortable with booking Airbnbs when it comes to travel. So in case you guys don't know, I love to travel. My pants is hot, my foot is hot. I love being up, I love being out. And so when I first started traveling, I was stuck on hotel experiences. But then I realized when I did my research how much money I could save if on some of my trips I stayed at an Airbnb versus a hotel. So I was kind of nervous because I heard so many negative things about Airbnbs based on people's experiences, and I was just like, is this why it's so cheap? Like, is this why it's such a big difference? Because the girls is telling me that, you know, these places isn't looking what they look like in the pictures. These places aren't giving what they said they're gonna be giving, and I ain't here for that. Okay, so I was kind of nervous at first, but when I booked my first Airbnb, I was like, why did I ever stay at a hotel? Hotel who? Because Airbnb is about to be getting all of my coins. So through time, I feel like I've learned that certain times I feel comfortable staying at an Airbnb, and sometimes I feel comfortable staying at a hotel. So I feel like sometimes, like when I'm feeling bougie, when I'm feeling like I deserve, when I'm not like traveling on so much of a budget, when hotels aren't too expensive in certain places I'm traveling to, me personally, I prefer to stay in a hotel because you get the hotel experience, right? You get room service to come and clean your room on a daily basis. You get new towels every day during your stay. You have the security that some Airbnbs probably aren't offering you. You get the complimentary service, you get, you know, maybe more amenities. But there are so many different pros, cons, and differences between hotels and Airbnbs. So the first thing when you're traveling is for you to figure out what type of experience you're trying to have, and then from there figure out if a hotel or an Airbnb is a better option for you. What I do want to say is Airbnb has came a long way since I started using it, and now hotels are actually options on Airbnbs as well. So depending on where you're traveling to, you can actually find a hotel on Airbnb, and most of the time it's cheaper. So don't feel like because you want to stay in a hotel that you can't book an Airbnb, if that makes sense. So I know in Miami, I've never been to Miami before. As you guys probably know, if y'all watch my travel content, I always say it, but my esthetician was telling me that I think it's called Fontainebleau. I don't know if I'm saying it right. I'll put it on the screen, but it's a popular hotel in Miami, and she basically booked it through Airbnb. So I think what happens is that people own certain rooms, and then they have the right to go ahead and put it on Airbnb to like rent it for people to use. So either way, I would say that to say that if you do want a hotel experience but you want it on a budget, you can also look at Airbnbs for those options as well. So some tips I wanted to give you guys on booking Airbnbs. Number one, the most important is to read the reviews. Read the reviews. If there are no reviews, then there is no stay. period. So many different times I see like horror stories that people have about Airbnb experiences, Airbnb stays, and then I just go, because y'all know I'm nosy, I go and I'm like, let me look at the listing to see what the reviews is looking like, and there's either no reviews, there's either 2 reviews, or the reviews are bad. And I'm just like, I don't know what could have convinced you to stay here, but it could have never been me, because one thing about me is I read the reviews, and not only do I read the reviews, I make sure there is a surplus of reviews. There's a variety of reviews, like some good, some bad, some okay, some great, just because I know that a lot of people pay people to leave reviews on their Airbnb. And I know it sucks to say it, I'm pretty sure that the company doesn't operate for people to do this, but you know, people always gonna cheat the system. So for me, I want to make sure that the Airbnb has a lot of reviews. They have a variety of reviews. They've been renting their property for maybe about 2 years. I don't prefer to stay at newer places, because newer places, 1, tend to not have that many reviews, and then 2, I feel like those are the ones where people are like, oh, Sally, I'm gonna pay you $100, write this review for me, and you know, let me get my reviews up so I can start renting it out. So you want to make sure that the Airbnb host that you're staying with has been on the platform for a while. You want to make sure there are good reviews. You want to make sure there are okay reviews. You want to read the reviews, and you want to know what you prioritize, right? So say you're going on vacation and you're like, okay, to get around, I plan on using the metro versus taking cabs everywhere. So in the reviews, I'm going to look and I'm going to see what people say in terms of the distance to the metro, how to get to the metro, do they feel comfortable staying by the metro, X, Y, and Z, just because I know that is something that I'm prioritizing when I travel. That's just an example. But you get what I'm saying. Make sure you know what you're looking for when you're looking for an Airbnb, and then go from there. Also, along with reading reviews when you are booking the Airbnb, after your stay at the Airbnb, I also highly encourage you guys to leave reviews on the property, whether you had a good experience, a bad experience, an okay experience. Try to be as detailed as possible, because that helps future people who are planning to stay on the property know the real tea versus what's in the description box written by the host of the Airbnb. So after your stay, take a few minutes, jot down notes during your stay of anything you want to include, and try to give a detailed review so that it can help other users as they're going to book properties after you. Also, you want to make sure, if you're somebody who you prefer to just stay on your own, that you're looking at places that give you the entire place and not like a room and not a section of a room, because there's so many different combinations of places, rooms, things that people put on Airbnb. So you want to make sure you're filtering for your needs, right? So if you want an entire place, you want Wi-Fi, you want air conditioning, which are the top things that I look for when I'm looking for an Airbnb. The website gives you an amazing way to filter and make sure that you're selecting the things that you want in the place, and then they show you the places that, you know, offer you those things. So make sure you're reading the reviews, make sure you know what you want, make sure you're filtering for what you want, and yeah. The second tip is to look for Airbnbs based on travel videos. So with me, one thing that I always do, I always tell y'all, is where I stayed, I give y'all the link, I give y'all my honest thoughts and reviews, I give you guys reviews on safety, how was it clean, was it somebody there, what it was next to, how we got around. Like, all of those things are very important, so I make sure I include it in my reviews. So if you are traveling somewhere, I would recommend to look for videos on YouTube. Granted, a lot of videos don't give you much information. They're more so vlogs where they're showing you what they're doing, where they're going, and a lot of people tend to skip over that information. But if it is, they mention like, oh, I'm staying at an Airbnb, but they didn't link it in their description box, I would ask them, hey, do you mind sharing the link, and do you mind sharing your experience staying there? Because a lot of people could have a bad experience and they're just like, you know, I'm going back home, I'm safe, F this. And then if people go stay there, then it's just like, well, I saw Mary Lou stay there and she didn't mention anything. But some people just don't like giving reviews. Some people don't like bad mouthing people. Whatever the case is, just make sure that you always ask, hey, what was your experience? That is the most important thing. So if you guys do plan on visiting any of the places that I've traveled to, I have a lot of travel videos on my channel. I'll link that playlist down below and up above. But I basically did a review on all the places that I traveled to before I started my YouTube channel and my Around the World with Ken series that I did maybe like a year and a half ago. But I gave you guys the links to all of the Airbnbs that I stayed at. I gave you guys my honest thoughts and reviews. I've never really had a bad experience at with an Airbnb, besides when Donasia and I did our Southwest trip. We had booked a Airbnb and I believe it was Utah, and when we got there, it was partially our fault, partially the Airbnb owner's fault. But when we got there, it was nothing like we imagined it to be. But we were also rushing to book everything, so we didn't do a thorough review of the reviews. We didn't do a thorough review of like what the property included. It was a lot of things such as electricity that we didn't think we had to look for in the Airbnb. Like, we just thought that was a given, but obviously it wasn't, because when we pulled up, it was no electricity. So that is my experience with a bad Airbnb. But other than that, I haven't really had a bad experience, so that's just me. But I did want to share this video because I see a lot of horror stories going around on social media of people having bad experiences with Airbnbs. People like, I'm never staying at an Airbnb. And if that's your opinion, that is absolutely fine. I'm not here to pressure you into booking Airbnbs. This is not sponsored. I'm just here to share tips with you guys to make sure that when you guys are traveling, when you guys are looking for Airbnbs, that you're looking for them in a safe way, so that one, you're safe, and two, you can enjoy your trip as much as you should, because safety is important. And I feel like a lot of people probably live with like the YOLO mentality, but you also want to make sure that you are safe when you travel. So that's all I have for today's video. If you guys have any additional thoughts, comments, questions, opinions, please leave them down below and I will be sure to answer. I always answer my comments down below. So if you have any questions, leave them down below. If you don't feel comfortable leaving a question down below, then please send me an email. My email address is down below, or DM me on Instagram at Kensthetic_, and I will be sure to answer any questions that you guys have. So that's about it. So make sure y'all check out the rest of my travel videos, my travel vlogs. I'll put some of them in the end screen. I'll put some down below. They all in my travel playlist, so go ahead and check that out. And on to my next video, which will be on Sunday, because yes, I have a vlog for you guys on Sunday. Until then, I'll see you guys later.